Hey, it's your girl Candy J. And welcome back to Curated on Purpose, the podcast where intention meets authenticity. This is a space for real conversation about mindset, growth, faith, healing, and the decisions we make on purpose. Take a deep breath, lean in, and get comfortable because tonight's conversation is honest, bold, and necessary. Before we get started, make sure that you're following us on Spotify as well as YouTube, for these conversations can reach more people. But before we continue, let me make it clear. This episode is not censored. We are having real conversations about sex health, pleasure, and power. So no subjects are off limits. If sex talks makes you uncomfortable, this may not be the episode for you. But if you believe that honesty leads to healing, then pull up a seat. Tonight, I am really excited about my guest. Her name is Ashley. Ashley, welcome to Curated on Purpose.
Hey, how are you all doing?
Good,
Thank you for
good,
having
good.
me today.
I am doing well. Ashley, welcome to Curated on Purpose.
Hey, thank you for having me.
I'm grateful you're here and I'm grateful for the work that you do because these spaces you create don't just feel good, but they create real transformation. Ashley N. Browning, also known as the self care strategist and the community crusader, is a healer, truth teller, and an advocate for Black women and Black girls who are ready to move from surviving to thriving. Born and raised in Dayton, Ohio, and now rooted in Lexington, Kentucky, Ashley is the founder of She's Selfish and So Loved, a nonprofit grounded in love, equity, and community healing. She's a self care influencer, self health educator, HIV stigma breaker, and a sacred space creator, committed to helping women care for themselves without guilt, shame, or apology. Ashley holds degrees and certifications in criminal justice, rehabilitation counseling, nonprofit administration, and chemical dependency. She is also a certified Yanni Steen practitioner. Her work has earned numerous honors, including being named 40 under 40 by both Kentucky State University and the Dayton Business Journal. What fuels her work is legacy, the legacy of her grandfather, Harry C. Browning, a deep calling to create space for real talk, real healing, and real joy. Ashley, we are honored to have you. Thank you so much for
Thank
coming,
you so much.
for coming on live or whatever this is, podcast. We're gonna make it work. Um, so tonight's conversation, of course, is bold, it's vulnerable, and it is necessary. Again, we're gonna be talking about sexual health, pleasure, risk, boundaries, and truth, especially for Black women who are taught to be silent, small, ashamed when it comes to our bodies. This conversation isn't about shock value. It's about honesty, accountability, and liberation. So let's get into it. All right. So, Ashley, what we're going to do is we're going to play Finish the Sentence. But before we get there, please let us know what you have going on and how people can reach you and, anything that you have going on right now.
You can reach me on all my platforms at She's Selfish LLC. I'm on all platforms as that, or my personal page is Ashley N. Browning on Facebook. Currently working on my new venture, which is called She Comes First, which is a spinoff of She's Selfish, which is basically a platform for sexual education and adult fun for women of color to be able to have a good time and learn about sex.
Yes, ma'am. She comes first. Come on. Cause she should.
Yes.
And she should. Cause people be greedy. But yes, I'm excited. I love talking about sex. It's taboo in our community. For some reason, everything seems to be. But it's okay, because guess what? We're gonna bust it wide open. So hey, we're gonna get through there. So, like I said, we're gonna start to finish the sentence. These prompts are meant to open the doors to truth. Sometimes comfortable, sometimes not. But I'm sure in the line of work that you do, there's nothing off limits, and I understand that. Just understand that there's no right or wrong answers. So I'll read the prompt. You'll finish the sentence. It says, I didn't take sexual health seriously until blank scared me.
If I ever really had sexual health. So that's a good question. Oh,
We
that's
can
a
we
tough
can
one.
switch it up though. We can switch it up. So Okay, let's do this one. I wish someone had told me blank sooner.
I wish this is not even about sex. I wish I would have learned about menopause sooner.
Hmm. Okay. Why?
Because I'm almost at perimenopause age, and now I wish I would know some things that's gonna happen or what's not gonna happen. And because oftentimes we hear like it's like hush hush for some reason. Like y'all women, we all gonna go through it, right?
Mm,
And so we always hear about hot flashes, but we don't hear about anything else.
true.
So just more information around like what that process looks like. Uh, and so also, people also when we talk about menopause, people think that like that's the end of everything, right? And I know now that your libido increases in menopause, so that's a part that people don't talk about as well.
See, and that's where I guess where miseducation comes in that because I thought that it slowed down, but I'm glad to hear that it doesn't. Yeah, I mean, I'm glad. But
I
what
mean,
I
it varies for different people, of course.
okay, yeah. What was I gonna say? But yeah, just about that menopause section. So I'm not in menopause yet, but I've had some hormonal issues that have happened. Listen, having your own personal summers is not it. It's not it.
Yeah.
I mean, literally waking up in a sweat, having the fan on, turning the fan off. I'm hot. Most of the time, hot, and then it'll go away. It's a lot, so it makes you really check into that stuff. And so, and guess what? It may not always be that it's menopause right away, even at this young age. Sometimes it is perimenopause, but sometimes it can just be a hormonal imbalance. And
I've
so,
really heard the words perimenopause before. It's just always being menopause.
yeah, I mean, and then being younger, you hear about period having your first period. You hear about having periods, people having issues, cramps, all the things. But they don't talk about the perimenopause and, like, why is it hush? That's weird to me because it is important for us to know because guess what? We don't always stay 20 because we turn 40 and 41, and all the things. But hey, Ashley, if I don't know nothing else about you, I know that you celebrate your birthday big, big.
Yes.
We do birthday. Yes. Are you 40 yet?
No, probably when this air.
This is gonna air on February 3rd.
Oh, I won't be 40 yet. February 9th.
Okay, well, let me be the first to say happy birthday because guess what? 40
Thank
is the
you.
new
Thank you.
20. It is. It really is. Yes. Listen, I'm 41 and 40 was fun. 40 was a lot of fun. And I found that 40 was, it seems like you've arrived earlier than I did, but 40 was when I could really sink my feet into Candace, if that makes sense. Um,
Yeah.
so
Mhm.
yeah, 40 was like, it is what it is. You see what you see, you get what you get. Without apology. No apologies are accepted. Why are we sorry? We've learned enough. Of course, continue to educate yourself, but at the same time, you can talk about what you want to talk about. And if somebody's uncomfortable, they can scroll on past, move on forward, right? So,
Mhm.
um, tell me, I'm gonna switch it up for you, Ashley, because I really want to get into some things. Okay. Let me see. Just tell me something that people really don't know about sexual health or what they should know about it. Just give us some rundown.
So I would say a lot of people that I encounter don't even know how to properly use a condom. That is one of the things. Or a lot of females have never even heard of the option of female condoms. So I like to put those out there just because I'm a proponent of safe sex. I think that's the best sex if you do not have a partner where you're getting tested regularly. I promote that you have safe sex. So I think that knowing how to use a condom properly and knowing that there's other options if you are allergic to latex or anything like that, there is an option for female condoms as well.
Okay. So what would you say to a woman that has been married or is married or separated or whatever the situation is, what would you say to a woman that has had a lot of intercourse unprotected because she was married to kind of get her back on that bandwagon for her sexual health? So, for example, she's been unprotected all this time because she trusted the person that she was with. Now she is not. So, at that point, what would you tell her to get her back on the bandwagon of sexual health and protection?
So the first thing I would do is suggest that you go to the doctor get all of your drugs, your screens. Sorry, I said drug screens. I work in chemical dependency, so that's on my head too. But making sure that you go to the doctor and making sure that you get a full panel. You have to ask for HIV testing and syphilis testing. Sometimes that is not testing that they automatically give in your full panel. So making sure you ask for a full testing. And then after that, I would begin to date or whatever that you want to do to figure out, and then have that conversation with the person about are they, if they got tested within the last 3 months, and if it's something that you really want to do with them, have them bring a card back to you, let them know that they tested, or you can look at their my chart. It's something that everybody's looking at, and making sure that know how to use those condoms and be able to make sure that they know how to use them as well.
So the my chart thing, let's hit on that. I heard that people exchange my charts to see what somebody's
Yeah,
sexual health is. Like, that's crazy. That's
yeah.
wild. I mean, yes, I've
I
been
mean, all
married
you
for.
gotta do is log in and just kind of, show here's the information.
Look, let me see your test. Let's see what
Yeah.
this says. But hey, listen, hey, if that's what you have to do, it's what you have to do because you only get one time to really get something that you can't wash off, right? So yeah. So I'm gonna talk about your website because I am a fan, okay? I haven't bought nothing yet, but it's coming. Okay. So
Got some more stuff coming too, so.
uh-oh. Okay, and I did wanna ask, I was looking at one product that I wanted to gift to someone, but it has rose in it. Do you have any Yanni steams that do not have rose, like, with somebody that has, like, allergies or
So in our general steam, we can do custom steams
custom?
based
Okay.
on allergies. We have our general steam does have roses in it, but we also have some that are more tied to, like, if you have fibroids, HPV, PCOS, endometriosis. So those are also ones that you can get as well without roses.
Okay. How did you get into Yanni steams and sexual health?
So it was probably around 2018. Also showing my age, and it's almost been 10 years.
Dang.
But I was working on a project or a grant where I primarily did STI, HIV testing, and STI education. And, like, I literally took it and ran with it. Realized I was, like, one of my purposes and passions that I really enjoy doing, and I seen that it was a need, especially in the Black community, that, like, it's so hush-hush and it's, like, so not talked about, but people really talking about it with their girls, but it
Mhm.
may not always be, the most accurate information, so, like, how do I keep this information out there to make it fun and relatable at the same time?
Okay, okay. And then on your website it says, "'Cause hey sis, you deserve it all." Okay. And I agree with that wholeheartedly that you do deserve it all. So with saying deserve it all, you also have some products on there that are very interesting, which I think are really good products. I see some his and hers on there. She's oily. And then tell me about the she's slippery set. Tell me about that.
So that's one of my best sellers. So it comes with, I call them female enhancement pills,
Mhm.
which are the She Slipperies. So those are made of everything is all natural on my website to
Okay.
promote health. But that is composed of macaroon and slipperium. And that it is just a pill or capsule. With that pill, you would take it about an hour before sex. You want
Mhm.
to take plenty of water with you, and let it get you super wet. Even if you don't have an issue with being wet, or if you don't have dryness or anything,
Wow.
it's just gonna, like, make it even more. So it's just for a good time.
Okay, okay. So let's get into it. Let's just go ahead and break it on out. Are you ready? Are you ready?
Yeah.
I think you're ready. Okay. So so I've been married for 19 years. I don't have any problems there. I'm good there. But what I'm wondering is what do you what do you say or how do you tell someone and again, don't feel like you have to speak a certain way, okay? Be yourself. This is a safe place, safe space, and we wanna make sure that people understand and that, again, that we're free. We free, period, okay? So, with that being said, what would you say to a woman that has been in a relationship, whether it's, heterosexual or not? What would you say to a woman that has never had an orgasm? I mean, there's so many
So
people that haven't.
Yeah, yeah. So my advice first is this: she's never had an orgasm with a person or just never had one at all.
At all.
Okay, so my first suggestion, I'm gonna tell you to masturbate
Okay.
because you gotta learn how you like it. You gotta learn what gets you off so you can be able to teach somebody else how to do it, right?
Mhm.
Because sex is not a one size fits all approach. Just because he did it a certain way or she did it a certain way on their other partner does not mean it works on you, right?
Mhm.
So you gotta make sure that you know what you like so you can be able to, "Oh, no, direct that person this way." It's like, "Oh, no, do it like this. I need you to do it harder, or I need you to do it, softer here, or I need you to touch me there, or I need you to slide a finger in," whatever that
Mhm.
may be. You need to be able to, be able to articulate that. But in order to articulate that, you gotta be able to know what you like. And so that's why you gotta I advise people to get a mirror and watch them and play with their stuff and watch how their expressions, all of that stuff. That is my advice to anybody is to masturbate.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I think honestly, I didn't really ever have to really do that really, but it's okay. Everybody's not the same, right? We're all made differently and nobody's body is made the same. People's genitalia, their vaginas are not all created equal. Some people
Right.
have different sizes and all the things. So, with that being said, I think it is important that if you haven't, I think you should get there. So, what would you so when you say that, what came to my mind was, yes, you're saying get familiar with yourself, but I almost think that it's important also to bring in, for some reason, I'm always talking about this, but bringing in the mental health part of it because as a Black woman, even thinking about it as a teenager and all the things that we were told that was wrong or what we don't do, right? So you have to,
Mhm.
in order to get to the point to where you are comfortable with your sexuality, comfortable with yourself and your own body, you gotta shut out those stigmas, those shut off all those things that were told to us. It's
Yeah.
important.
Oh, definitely. That's one of the things you gotta realize that most of that stuff don't even make sense anyway. Most of it is lies or something they heard from somebody else.
Yeah. And so if you want to have a good relationship and a good sexual relationship, I think it's important. So like, but and I know that people have different partners and all the things, but um if you are not familiar with yourself, please just take some time for yourself and then move on forward. But if you don't, I'd say don't. Now what would you say to a woman that okay, let me say it this way. There's this woman that I met. I really did meet this lady. She had 5 children. 5.
Mhm.
You done had babies. And you've never had an orgasm. I feel so sorry for her. But
I think I don't quote me on the statistics, but it was like maybe like 60 or 70% of women by the time they're like 45 had never had an orgasm. Um,
how do we change
and
this?
I think there's a lot of shame and guilt that comes along with sex, right?
Mhm.
And also, I think that for women, we've never been taught pleasure. It's only sex has only been meant for him. And so, like, when we get to the point of realizing, like, you deserve an orgasm,
I matter
then
too.
you will be more, yeah, that I matter too, and I'm enough.
Mhm.
You are able to have those conversations, like, when they ask you, like, did you come? You can be like, no, I didn't come. Because a lot of times people gloss over it and be like, oh, yeah, it was okay. It was, but not really having those real conversations. Like, nah, I need you to do it like this to make me come. Or I don't come
Yeah,
out for oral. I only come out for penetration or
right.
vice versa or whatever that may be.
They
Or, you know,
lie.
some,
They lie so much, and then what's the lie is gonna get you unhappiness, like, for what, though? So, to me, it's like, why lie? But you also have to be, again, back to what you said, you have to be familiar with yourself to some extent because if you don't know what you like. And if you do, you gotta be able to voice those things without any shame. And so
yeah.
yeah, it blows my mind. So then, okay, this is a real true question, and all these questions are real true. I'm just thinking, I've been waiting for you my whole life, Ashley. So we're here. I have friends that are married, whether they're married or not. That's not really what we're talking about. But I have friends that are married that they've done some things, but they were not. They had never had intercourse before. They never had sex before marriage. and they are extremely lost. Extremely lost. By no means I'm saying try it out before, but I mean, hey, you do what you do. Hey, it
Mm.
is what it is. But what I'm thinking is, what do you tell? What would you if you were to teach a class today?
So for
And
somebody who like is really inexperienced in sex, the things like I would suggest is um I would self play with each other. Like see how he plays with himself, see how she plays with herself. I will also incorporate toys to see if that's something that you like or you don't like, because some people don't like it, some people do. Uh, Try different things. If you like role play, I would just try to introduce different things. So I would like, dress up that everybody
mhm.
got the little trench coat fantasy or whatever. See if that works. If you want to go into the BBSM, if you want to go into adding somebody, like try different things.
'Cause here's my thing is so to finish up
And make
that
it fun.
question yeah, so but finish up that question is, okay, let's just say here's the scenario. They got okay, so okay, Imma say it's me just because, obviously it ain't, but it is. So, definitely was never with me, but it's fine. Um, I'm getting married in 3 months, and we've never lived together. He's not very advanced and I'm not very advanced of anything. I am really nervous. I'm really scared. I don't know what to do. How do we get rid of this awkwardness of I've heard stories of women that have sex with men and they're so uncomfortable that they push their partner out because they're so uncomfortable. Their body is reacting. What do you
Mhm.
think a good way to or yeah, what would you teach in that class? That's what I'm gonna ask you. What would you teach in that class um for these newly sexual people?
I would just say the biggest thing is conversation and talk about comfort levels and safe words to be able to say like what you're comfortable with and what you're not comfortable with. And sometimes you won't know what you're comfortable with until it happened, right?
Mhm.
So it might be a slip up, like it might go on somewhere that you didn't want it to go in. And you're like, okay, I'm not comfortable with that. Or I did like that, right? So I think that the conversation needs to be like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm really inexperienced. So let's just take this slow and just figure out like what like and figure out like what works for us. Because different stuff work for different people. Like some
Mhm.
people like to be choked, some people don't, right? Some people
Mhm.
like to be blind, some
Right.
people don't. So you just gotta figure out like you literally gotta be open minded and you gotta be able to say these are the things that like you can even go to you can go on Amazon and order sex dice to see lick suck. I don't know what the other ones is, but those are
Mhm.
some of the things
Touch
to
all
look at.
yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, yeah. So you could just kind of figure out what that is to see, like, start off slow to see, okay, well, maybe she might like a touch or she might like a lick here or, vice versa. So just starting out there, really just having an open conversation, like, I ain't never really done anything before. I might have just did a little oral here and there, but
Mhm.
I really still didn't know what I was doing. So you got to teach me and I got to teach you and vice versa.
And I think that it's important to teach patience. Patience. People wait. Hold on just a second. Okay. So people wait all this time, especially those that decide to wait till marriage, all this time to what do you call it? Have sex. They put so much pressure on it. So much pressure. I've never heard of it before. But I mean because I didn't experience it in that way, but so much pressure on it and they just really don't enjoy themselves. It's more of a chore for them than an experience. Uh, I don't understand and I guess I won't understand, but I just think that it's important for people to know to take their time. Um, and I think you should almost go back to square one of heavy petting, really, to be honest. Just really get there
Yeah,
because
you
it
got to start slow and just figuring out like what you like. Uh, starting out with, I know it sounds so like elementary-ish, but starting out with fingering, starting out
Yeah.
with foreplay, starting out there. I think that's definitely where you gotta figure out like what you like and you don't like.
Okay, okay. For those that have never had an orgasm, how would you what would you say an orgasm is? How would you explain that to somebody that is green?
You can't really explain it because it's a little different for everybody, but it's definitely something that you know, like, your body don't typically do. It's a feeling. I don't know. I can't really ex You can't really explain it,
'Cause it's a
but you know
personal
you had a
level. Yeah, it's on a
yeah,
personal
but you
level.
know you had an orgasm when you have it.
So,
Um,
yeah, and
it's something
get
that,
on
like
ChatGPT. They'll tell you some stuff if you don't know, then ask them.
yeah, and I'm like, but if you play with yourself or if you do, like, bring out a toy, you gonna have an orgasm.
But you gotta get out of your head. It's the mind thing. It
And
really I
you
think
def
it all starts
and
with the mind.
and you gotta get out your head, and then sometimes people don't talk about this either. Sometimes when you drink or smoke, it can affect you coming or having an orgasm because, it impedes it, so they yeah, so, just think about that too when if you are, newly into it. Don't think, "Oh, I'm about to just drink, and then I'm just gonna
Mhm.
do it because it might not happen."
Alright. Just so they're basically, like, they're taking the edge off.
Yep, mhm.
'Cause, I mean, we all grown, and if I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do, I guess, to get what you gotta get, because I remember being younger, and not very experienced, and I remember being very frustrated with my partner, but I didn't realize it started with me.
Yeah.
But being frustrated of, like, why
And if you
haven't
don't
I.
communicate, how would they know?
Yeah, and then you get frustrated because you're like, "Is it is it gonna happen?" Or it happened, and then you're like, "Oh, when's it gonna happen again?" So it's just a it's a constant battle that you have to really take a moment, stop, breathe, and really say, "Okay, let's just enjoy the moment. If it happens, it happens. If it don't, it don't." But I mean, then you may get sexually advanced and be like, "Hey, it's gonna happen. We're gonna work this out till it happens." So, yes. And so let's see what else we can talk about. Let me see. Let me see. What can we talk about? What does sexual freedom mean? Okay, no, I'm gonna go back to the question, or to the finish the sentence. It says sexual freedom means blank to me now.
Sexual freedom means to me pure pleasure.
Fair, fair. That's very fair. I would say sexual pleasure means to me now is, I mean, really whatever it takes, really. And I think that it's freedom. It's whatever you're comfortable with.
And being able to voice. I think that's really one of the good things is having a voice during sex or with your partner or anybody. Don't have to be with the partner, it could be a one night stand,
Mhm.
whatever you want to do. But being able to communicate and being able to voice your likes and dislikes.
It's that communication.
Yeah. Yeah. It's very important.
Because if you can't tell somebody, "Oh, I don't like that restaurant," how you gonna tell them what you like in the bedroom? Like, people
Right.
have problems with, communication or arguments or things that they can't communicate about, so you gotta work on that part, communication first, without feeling all uncomfortable or craziness. What would you say to a woman, it just came to me, so I wanna go there. What do you say to a woman that is afraid to initiate?
I think that's also a mindset thing too. That is something that was taught. And so I would just say take the lead. If you want it, get it. Like, don't be afraid. Just be able to like express like, all right, go ahead, take your clothes off, or however you want to say it. Making sure that you're able to express. That's one of those things about people often lose their voices when it comes to sexual experiences. But being able to verbalize, like, I'm interested in you and I want to have sex with you, or if y'all in the room together,
Mhm.
like, all right, yeah, it's time. We should have sex, however you wanna say it.
Right, right, because I think that I mean, it's important to be able to initiate because then your needs are not met if you don't.
Right.
And so and I hate to say this, but Imma say it. You've gotta put down the gender roles, the who's gotta start and how this works. Do what makes you happy. Do what makes you sexually satisfied, because why wait all, especially to the ones that have not had that sexual pleasure quite yet or have not orgasmed. I think it's important to say you're not gonna learn that way. You've gotta put down those gender roles and just enjoy your partner, and put down the shame. So Yes, I think that is amazing. Is there any topics or anything you'd like to touch on that may bring a wow factor of what
I mean, just
misconceptions
in
or
general, I think when people think it's taboo, people explore different positions. Like it's not just missionary, it's just not Dr. Now. There's a array of things that you can try. You could probably even chat GPT them now at this point if you
list?
don't know what they are.
Yes,
If porn is your thing, look at porn and get ideas. If, like I say, or dressing up, if you want to be gagged or tied up or 50 Shades of Grey. I mean, you can do sex clubs, you can it's
it's
like
limited,
so much
limitless. It's
stuff
all
you
in
can
what you're
do.
comfortable with, right?
It's definitely what you're comfortable with. And you can't say no until you try it.
Ooh, that's a good rule. Write that one down. You can't say no until you try. Okay, okay. Yeah, I think that's important. That's a good rule. I think I might have to incorporate. You can't say no until you try it. Wow, I'm scared to incorporate that. Yeah.
It's
So
just like food. Like, how do you know if it's nasty if you haven't tried it?
if you don't like, what if you don't like the way it looks?
That don't mean it might be good. Like,
It might
well,
surprise you,
oh God,
right?
I don't like it 'cause it's green, but it might be really good.
Okay, okay. All right. So, ladies, I challenge you to use the rule. What was the rule, Ashley?
You can't say no unless you tried it.
You can't say no unless you tried it. Okay. And so, let's see. Do we have one more question in the bag? Let me see. I feel sexiest when.
For me, I think I feel sexy is when my hair is done. I know that's gonna sound crazy, but I feel like, when I'm all together, like on my on my appearance, that I
Mhm.
feel more sexy.
I feel sexy when I put on red lipstick, and
Mm,
definitely, I mean, you don't have to be out of town because you can make wherever you're home, you're out of town. But I don't know, something about being away in like even what do you call it? All inclusive places or locations. I don't know. I think I feel more free, but I think it's also because I have children in the home. You got to be careful, and you got to kind of bring it on down. Make sure you keep it to where they don't hear anything because when you get a message get a morning conversation after the night after, and it's did you hear that noise? I don't know what that was. I thought I heard it from downstairs, and then you gotta try to explain. So
mhm.
I don't have the time, and so so I feel sexiest when I can be absolutely myself and be free and not have to worry about children.
Yeah, definitely.
Definitely. Let me see. Okay, so we're gonna talk about power. I learned my body belongs to me when.
I learned my body belongs to me when I was able to voice the things that I liked and disliked, and when I realized that I have never been a person who boxed myself in, but being able to, like, actually live in that
Mm,
is when I realized my power.
yeah, that's really good. I learned my body belonged to me once I put down all the stigma, put down all the shame, and put down all the things that from childhood, Once I did the work on me, meaning getting therapy, once I decided to put those little things out of your mind, like good girls don't do this. I don't know who came up with this stuff, but this is why spouses are cheating. Good girls do that, and they do it well. 'Kay. They
Mm,
do it well, and but people don't wanna talk about it. They're scared to talk about it. They are very shy even sometimes with their partners. So when I discovered for example, when I discovered role playing, I mean, well, ChatGPT was out, so I can't say it's been that long, but ChatGPT has been out, and I was like, "You know what? Let's see what's going on." And so If you need help, you can go there because you can say, "Hey, give me some ideas." It will give you ideas. It will give you what to use in your house that you don't have to spend any money. You don't got to go buy a costume.
Mhm.
Um, it will give you a script. It will give you a playlist to play. Like it can really set you up for success if you allow it
Yeah.
to.
Mhm. Yeah, if you are open, that's one of
You
the
got to be.
key. It's like a store, a sex store.
Hmm.
They, have, like, a little surprise bag, but you don't know what's in it until you get home. So I think that's always a good
That's
way to
cool.
start too. You got a bag, you might have lingerie, you might have a flock, you may have a whip, you may have, these different things in there. So I think that, like, trying that surprise bag is, like, one of the good places to start to figure out, like, if you do like this or if you don't. They have, like how with affirmation cards, like how you can put
Hmm.
a card, they have cards like that that's for sex. It's a deck that me and my partner use to kinda it's like a sex question. It's like a 4 different components or whatever, but, like, one of the components is about sex. The
Hmm.
other one could be about, like, just life or, things like that. So those questions are always good at your partner to get 'em. I think we got one that's like sex after dark or something like that. So,
Okay.
those being able to try those different things is, like, how you keep your relationship, fresh.
Yeah, because I mean, you can't
It's easy
expect,
to
and I know you're getting married, and congratulations. And being married, like I said, I'll be married 20 years in June. June 10th, I will be married 20 years.
That's a long time to like somebody.
To like somebody. And if we're gonna be together and we're gonna like somebody, then
Mhm.
we're gonna have to really like somebody and really being comfortable in the skin that you're in, or you're gonna be unhappy. And so I think that it's important that if we're going to do this thing called marriage and do this thing called life, we got to like each other. We got to learn each other and learn ourselves and really be open for a conversation. And that even comes down to some that, I mean, everybody's done them, I'm sure, but the love languages, it's important. It's
Yeah.
important, especially in
That
a
that love
relationship.
language is very important.
It's important because when you talk about that love language, somebody may not be sexually turned on because you missed all their marks of what they like. Because guess what? You didn't do something in their love languages.
And I think that also kinda plays into sex too, because if you know somebody is acts of service, like, making sure, like, "What can I do for you?" You can ask
Mhm.
those questions even in sex too.
Yep. Yep, yep. And even it's something so small like you saying, "What can I do for you? How's your day going?" Yeah. And sometimes it can take the build up. Listen, if you send a text message one time, full transparency, one time, I, started text messages maybe at 6 or 7 o'clock in the morning. Now, and I was working, so sometimes you gotta be strategic. You gotta send a message, schedule a message, schedule several messages to get to that point. So it may be, "Okay, well, I need you to go." Mine said, "I need you to go to the store and buy a candy bar and a soda," because that's what I really wanted. "Buy a candy bar and a soda and be at my door at 10. Do not knock, text." Just give instructions. Sometimes people like that when you take a lead and tell them what you want and what you need. And guess what? And sometimes you don't even know you like it, but the build up sometimes. You gotta be open, you gotta be willing to try, and you gotta be willing to really, really, for real, it all goes to communication.
Yep, communication, and being able to and be that open-mindedness, you gotta be open. You
You
can't
gotta.
just be like, "Oh, well, I only want it on Mondays and Wednesdays, and I don't want a missionary."
And,
Just
and then that planning piece. Some people have to plan because I understand that life happens and life is busy.
yeah,
But be spontaneous, please. If you're not
yeah,
spontaneous,
yeah.
if you gotta plan it,
And you know when your kids gonna be gone or they gonna be away. So, of course, plan it around that,
yeah.
but,
Kids don't gotta be away, you just shut and lock your door. You don't worry about that because if they have any questions, you can tell them, "How do you think you got here? Mom and daddy gotta see each other. Do you want us to love each other or hate each other? You wanna hear yelling? Or you wanna hear some noises that you're probably unfamiliar with?" But again, try to keep it discreet because there's all children around. But at the end of the day, like, to be fully satisfied in every area, physical, mental, all the things, it really all starts with self. It does. So,
but you gotta You gotta learn yourself, you gotta be really self-aware.
Yeah. I think that takes growth and time and really, really digging deep into some stuff to see why you don't or why you can't or why or what are you afraid of? What are you scared of? It's that for me personally back in the day, not now, but that shame.
Yes.
Ooh, yeah,
Yeah,
no.
that stigma and shame that comes along with it, and we all know that our grandma was getting it in that moo Big mama had 10, 14 kids too.
Listen, and Moo Moo ain't never stopped a party, okay?
Not one.
Not one. Not one.
Mm-mm.
Okay. So yeah, so think about it that way. But then hmm, that's I just and it just drives me crazy, just the taboo of um or not even really taboo. I'm gonna say forget what your okay, so keep what your mama said, or keep what your auntie said, or whoever said, whoever helped rear you. Keep what they say to keep it if it's right. I guess I don't know how to say this right. Let me see.
Mhm.
Keep those things, yet throw them out as well. Like everything that was said is not bad. Oral sex is not bad. I had to tell myself that
Mm.
oral sex is
Yeah,
not bad.
so and you're not going to hell.
And you're not going to hell. Listen up, you're not going. You're going to hell for lying to yourself, lying to your partner, cheating on everybody. If that's not, that's the life that you live. But lying to yourself and saying that, I just don't believe that God is that kind of God of being selfish and be like, oh, yep, that's off limits. Whatever.
Yeah.
So somebody might not like this conversation. I really don't care. All I know is that
Yeah,
you have to take care of yourself and your marriage and your family and your relationship because it matters. So
definitely major.
don't nobody want no relationship like Color Purple where they just hunching on you, or Bridgerton where they just hunching on you and then you're not getting anything out of it and they're not taking their time with you. But that's when but then that comes to she got power. And once you realize your power, it's a game changer. It really is. And when you know what you possess, and then, I don't care. I may not be the best, but I think I am. And you can't tell me nothing different. So it's just important to it's not about having control. Have control of yourself, yes, but take your power back, women. Take your power and know who you are and do what you got to do to make all areas of your life good.
Mhm, definitely. Like I said, you deserve pleasure.
You deserve it. And like her website said, she said, "Sis, hey sis, you deserve it all of the things." So please, 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 everybody, go to her website and monetize and go on She's Selfish and get you some stuff to be slippery. If you need a Yanni steam, do your thing. Get you some affirmation cards. All the things. Do what you have to do because we only get this life one time, and who wants to live with the shoulda, couldas, and the wouldas?
Mhm.
So
Missing out on pleasure. Uh,
missing out on pleasure and just sitting up there looking like, have you seen Bridgerton?
I have not. Well, I started it, but I have not got into it. But I know, I think I knew, like, well, that was one of the premises, like, for the men or whatever. Yeah.
And so these women they got married. They were all, doing the courtships and whatever, got married. A lot of them didn't really know how babies were made. They don't know how babies are made. They didn't know what they like.
Mhm.
Now, they started to discover, but it's really, really mind-boggling that this is really happening in 2026. Even though that's fictional, it's still happening, y'all. It is still happening. And then even about the pleasure of women marrying people or marrying men and they are not getting what they need. And then there's a lady in Bridgerton, then her name is Lady Danbury. Lady Danbury she's got power, but
Oh, that's the black lady?
that's the black lady, uh-huh. And
Yeah, okay.
yeah. And so she has on her story, she has this husband, he is through, baby. He is through. And here's the thing, all of that is makeup and a mask. And I looked to see who the man really was, and he really doesn't look like that at all. But I'm telling you, Shonda did a good job on making sure that he looked a mess. But the thought of having sex with your man, having sex with your woman, having sex, and you're just doing it because it's something you have to do as a chore, or he's stressed out, so you got to give that to him, and then you go and you're requesting a hot bath to soak this junk off of you because you're like, oh my gosh, this is the worst thing. Sex is more than babies. I'm not having no more babies, but I'm gonna have plenty of sex. Okay, so
Mhm.
I think it's important for people to know that. Yeah, you gotta figure it out if you want to know how to ride a. So, because here's the thing: when you learn how to drive a car, you got to read a manual, right? Do a job, you got to read a manual. So knowledge is power. Get out there, read, watch, do whatever you got to do to make sure that you get what you need because it's important. Sexual health is important,
Yeah,
first of all.
open yourself up. It's different conferences. I went to my first sex conference last year, and it was just eye-opening how free people were. They came in with no clothes on
Oh,
to the conference. They, came in with nipple clamps. They came in with
wow.
out collars, and I was just like, "Oh, this is a whole different world
You're like,
of
where are
liberation and
we?
freedom."
Right. Yeah, yeah. And you should have, and people should have appreciation for the, differences. That's the thing. Differences. Do you. And it's important to know that. But yeah. And one thing I cannot stand and I will not go to ever again is a marriage conference where they're not free and open. Like, what's the purpose? Okay, yes, we're gonna talk about conflict, but why are they having them conflicts? Because they're not getting what they need, okay? So I think that it's important to, when you do go to marriage retreats and marriage conferences, to make sure that, or retreat, sexual retreats, period, that whoever's teaching is teaching you right. It's important. And so, yeah, I think this has been great because it's important for people to open their minds and stop being so shallow and think outside the box. Think outside the box. Think outside of all the no's that you said we wouldn't do, couldn't do, shouldn't do. Girl, you a bad girl. You better be a bad girl. If you don't be a bad girl, then you probably gonna be an unhappy girl. So that's all I'm gonna say about that there because yeah, it matters. So Ashley, this conversation matters because it reminds us of sexual health is self-care. Boundaries are power, and pleasure doesn't cancel out responsibility. Before we close, I want to ask you one final question. If you could tell a Black woman one truth about their bodies, their pleasure, or their power, what would it be?
Go after what you want.
Period. Wow. I mean, and that can go so many ways, but yes, go after what you
Yeah.
want. Is what
Yep.
Ashley said. Get what you want. Have what you wanna have. Okay.
Yep.
So,
I think that's super important.
it is. It really is. Go after what you want. And if you I mean, because, you know well, who was it? It was, and then we're gonna go. Will Smith and Jada Pinkett, I remember there was something a long time ago, it's been a while, but they were talking about I think Will said it's not either Will or Jada, I can't remember. One of them said, "It's not my partner's responsibility for my happiness."
It's not. Mhm. You gotta be happy
Yep.
already.
Don't let someone else's mood, don't let someone else's whatever get in the way of your happiness because it's not I mean, they should contribute to your happiness, but they shouldn't be the reason you're happy. And sometimes that's a hard lesson to learn, but you gotta learn it.
Yep.
So,
Because there's usually outside factors anyway,
that's true.
and why somebody's not happy.
Yep, so look inside yourself, figure it out, and keep on moving, keep coming. And keep coming.
Mhm.
But yes, Ashley, this has been great, and so we're
Thank
gonna go
you.
ahead and conclude, but again, everybody, I will be posting her website, how you can reach her, her social media platforms. One thing that I find that we aren't doing is supporting. We have to support one another. It's not about competition, it's not about climbing on people's shoulders, but lifting each other up. And so, Imma be the first to say, Imma go on to Ashley's website, and I'm gonna order something, and I will review it and I will let everybody know how it goes because we are being purposeful. We gotta do stuff on purpose because you don't know what the outcome is until you do it on purpose. Hey, because we're curated on purpose. But this conversation again has been powerful. If it has challenged you, encouraged you, and made you think differently, that was on purpose. Remember, growth doesn't happen by accident. This is the mindset matters, the discipline matters, the decisions matter. If this episode resonated with you, make sure to follow, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs this conversation. Until next time, stay grounded, stay intentional, and always live on purpose.